Hello and welcome back to Mike's Garage. We got interrupted in the middle of a video. A couple of things went wrong, but I'd have to tell you really it's more incompetence on my part than anything else. I'm not blaming the cameraman. Neither one of us knows exactly what to do with that video camera. It got overloaded and said, "Hey, I'm overloaded, I'm done." And right in the middle of our video, it quit, and I apologize. Hopefully we have gotten this spliced back together with the original video. Cameraman Fred said he can do it, and we're hoping so. So, let me get back to where we stopped. I want to, of course, remind you, if you haven't subscribed, by all means, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit the little notification bell. Click on that with your mouse, and then that way, you'll be notified when the next video comes out. That is the next video of ours. Okay, thank you. Let me get back to where we were. I had just poured oil in the primary case. It was a quart of oil. It was full. It was done. And so I put the derby cover back on. I put the plug in, put the derby cover back on. I put the plug in before I put the oil back in. Okay. Then I poured the oil in. Then I put the derby cover back on, reusing the original gasket because it is, in fact, a reusable gasket. Now, when I snug these screws down, I do it in a kind of a star pattern, do every other one around and around until they're all tight. There are 5 of them. And so everybody knows now that they should be done in a star pattern. I have a friend who was really concerned that you know that. Okay. Now, the next thing is, we still, let's see, we did replace, I did reinstall the plug. No, I didn't. The plug on this side. And what this plug is the engine oil. Okay, so I'm going to put it back in with my fingers. Again, a little Teflon tape on the threads and a nice O-ring. And I'm going to carefully thread that in there. Again, using my fingers. And why it won't start, I really don't know. I think I'll move the pan out of the way. There we go. Okay. There it is. And that way, you see, with a thread that didn't start that easily, had I started it with a socket rather than my fingers, I could easily have cross-threaded it. And you ruin the threads in that oil pan, and it has to be removed to be repaired, and it's really rough. So you want to be real careful with that. Okay, again, this is a 5/8 socket. And I'm going to put that plug back in there with a nice long extension. And there it goes. Okay. Nice and snug. Don't overdo it. All righty. Now, we've pretty well finished on this side except for the oil filter. So we need to take the oil filter off. I'm going to slide the drain pan down that way. And we'll see what we can do here. I think we can move this primary bottle out of the way. And we'll put this drain pan here. And the next thing we want to do, I think I'll get the kickstand out of the way. Make a little room. What I want to do, I've tried, and I'm sure everyone has a suggestion for this, but I've tried every type of unit that people make that I could find for blocking the oil coming out of the motor when you pull that oil filter. And of all the things I've found, what works the best for me is just a hunk of trashy old cardboard. And so that's what I'm going to use because that works for me. Pretty good, huh? All right. Now that's not real good. Oh, let's see. Hey, this one's got forward controls on it, so may have to get around that somehow. Maybe what we'll do is make it a little shorter. That's pretty good. And let's see if I can get it in there. See if we go all the way there and tear this off. That might do it. I just start with a big hunk of cardboard and forget every time how I do it for each model. And it varies. What do you know? There it is. If we do it like that, it has a bit of a spout coming off of it. And it'll run right down there and still make a mess, but it won't be too hard to clean up. So, this particular oil filter has a nut welded to the end of it, and it seems to me it takes a 17mm socket, and so hopefully it's going to come right off. And there it goes. And there goes the oil running down the cardboard. And we have a little spot on the frame to clean, but nothing insurmountable. Alrighty then. It's always fun to see the guy doing a film screw up. All right. So now I'm going to get that oil filter out of here carefully. And I'll lift it straight out. Nope, not that easily. Okay, let's try it this way. Nope. There we go, I'll get it out. Oh, I feel funny. There we go. And it's out. And oddly enough, we really didn't make much of a mess. I'm sure I looked like I was all thumbs doing that, but it wasn't much of a mess, really. So what I'm going to do now is prepare the next filter. And we have a nice new fresh oil filter. And now comes the next issue, which I'm sure I'm going to get comments on. A lot of people swear up and down that you should fill the filter with oil before you put it on. I grease this gasket. Some people believe you have to use oil. I think grease is just fine. It's the way my daddy taught me. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to wipe off the oil filter mount. There is a certain amount of mess here, and we'll wash it when we're done. But no harm, no foul. We minimized it as much as we could. All right. Anyway, a lot of people say you should put oil in the filter, and I don't. The thing to remember with a Harley Davidson is the oil filter is on the return side of the oil system. Therefore, there we go. That went in nice and easy, didn't it? Therefore, it really doesn't make any difference. What I do is I start by putting a couple of quarts of oil in and letting it run so that the system has a chance to normalize, and then I'll top it off with the third quart as soon as it's all circulated well. Okay, the filter is on. We want to tighten it hand tight. And I mean a good grip hand tight. It's still just hand tight, but you don't use a tool to tighten an oil filter. Just good and hand tight. And my hand is not as strong as it used to be, So I'm satisfied with what I just did with a little bit of a grunt to it. Okay, that being said, what we can do is go to the other side and put the plug in for the transmission. So I think I'll wipe up the floor so I don't walk through this oil, and go over to the other side and put the plug back in. I think I have everything I need. Okay, I do. The O-ring is nice, and the plug is all nice and clean. I'm going to put a little Teflon tape on the threads. Like I said, it's what I prefer rather than something that's going to harden. I don't like things to harden on aluminum threads. Okay. The aluminum thread being the case, not the plug. Okay. We have it. And I'm going to do a little braille work here. If I reach up here, I can feel the hole. I know I've cleaned it. I certainly inspected it already. So we'll put the plug back in, and away we go. And there it is. Again, that's a 5/8 socket. And we'll put it in. Okay. There it is. And it's in nice and snug. Okay, now I think what we'll do is put some oil in the into the motor. Put some motor oil in, and I want to put 2 quarts in, and then we'll start it up, get it running, and then put the 3rd quart in last. Okay. Now I know I'm going to be asked brands of oil, and I don't recommend brands of oil. This particular oil, I'm sure, is a terrific oil. It's what Mike uses in his bike. I don't have any real preferences that I'd wish to advertise at this time. So there is 1 quart of oil in. Now I like getting my money's worth out of a quart of oil. So after I pour one in, I set it aside so the oil can go down the walls of the bottle and I can get a little more out of it. Don't want to waste it. Don't want to throw it away. I do love this big funnel. And there's 2 quarts. So what I'd like to do now is take this funnel out and let it just go right back into the bottle. And I think I want this funnel for the transmission oil. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe this one. Oh, that's pretty nice. I like that. I like that. I have all different systems for doing my antiques. This is not an antique. I'm having to see what we're doing here, but I want to make sure this funnel is clean. And I must say it looks pretty clean inside. And it does fit into this space. Now this is a 6-speed Harley. So this 6-speed transmission, as far as I can see, takes about 26 to 28 ounces. And that's what we're going to put in it. It's not too hard with this bottle. This bottle holds 32. 32 minus 26 is 6. Right? Yeah, 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down until there's 8 ounces left in it, and then check it. That way, I'm not overfilling it or making too horrendous a mistake. Overfilling sometimes can be worse than underfilling. Start blowing seals out and doing all kinds of crazy things. There we go. All right. So, there it goes. Kind of nice. All the plugs are back in. The system's all closed up. We already finished the primary. We're mostly done with the engine. The oil filter's on. We're doing this in real short time, really. And if I get some light, I can see how much oil is in this bottle. Should be about there. I can't see it. I honestly can't see it. Should have had a flashlight out here. Let's try this. Nope. Not showing me nothing. All right. I know what to do. I'll take this rod here, which is perfectly clean. Yes, it is. And I'll stick it in here. Ha-ha! Right to there. And I'm up to, I'm only down to 16 ounces. I want to get down to about 8 ounces in here. Then I know I'm getting close. Just amazes me that I can't see. I can normally see through these things. All right. We're down to 12. We're getting there. Now, I don't know how much is really in the transmission at this point, so I don't want to go any further without checking the level with the factory dipstick. Now, this bike is sitting upright. There we go. And wipe off the dipstick. And in checking the oil, what we're going to do is set the dipstick in the hole all the way down without threading it in. Just set it in there loose, as if you were going to thread it. And then read it. It's just barely starting to get there. So, we'll go some more. And I really don't care how much is in the bottle at this point. What I care about is that the transmission gets its fill. And I think we're about there. Ah. And there it is, right up to the full mark. You'll let it sit just another couple minutes and check it again. Yep, right on the money. If anyone wants to see that, maybe we wanted to show it. There it is. Okay? Thank you, Mike. All right. So we can put that one in part way because I want to remember to tighten it. And now we're going to put, where is it? The big dipstick in for the motor. And what we're going to do now is we're going to run it for a couple of minutes and then top it off. Make sure that everything's happy. And that's it. All that amounted to was changing all the fluids. Now I don't think I'm going to start it up on this video. I think we're done with this video. I think we've got all our fluids changed. Just remember that the motor takes 3 quarts. We put 2 in. We're going to start it up, let everything circulate, and then top it off with the 3rd quart. The transmission has already been filled according to the specification, as has the primary. So we're all done. We have a new oil filter, all new fluids. There's a few other things we could do to this bike, like wash the washable air filter. We won't need to adjust the primary chain because it has a factory self-adjuster. Well, we might go over a few more adjustments on it before I let him have it back. I may even have to road test it before I give it back. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope these 2 videos piece together all right. And till next time, see you out on the road.